Hi, we're doing the session, guitar session in Northern Australia with some friends and with my friend John, who's going to be asking questions. And these questions are probably mostly asked questions over the last few years, which our Annie, who looks after all the guitar stuff, has diligently recorded and formulated these questions. So we hope you enjoy the session. Good day to you, beloved. And good day to you, my dear friends. You are all welcome to this session filming. Yes, wonderful. What fun, eh? So you have many questions.
Yes.
All right, let us begin.
Good morning, Batar. To start the session off, our first question is, what is the unified field of consciousness?
Aha. The unified field of consciousness is that which is the non-physical reality, which encompasses everything that you can conceive of really in your physical reality, of this planet, of indeed multiverses. So the unseen reality is that which is to your consciousness not physical. Unseen reality.
You've always said that each of us creates our own reality. How does this actually work?
You create your own reality from your beliefs enwrapped in your emotion. You may say that emotion is the power place that enables the universe to support what it is that you focus upon. So, in a way, can be quite amusing if you think of it, because you focus on that which you do not want and then wonder why you have created such. If you continue to imagine and focus upon that which you do wish to create, then usually you may do so. However, of course, the emotional content, as we have said, in a way, is the power of the creative force. And that, for many of you, and of course, for most of you at varied times, that powerful emotion is fear. So, in a way, it is to really be aware, pay attention to where your thoughts go and what the focus is. And when you come to negative thoughts, and those negative thoughts are encased in the energetic frequency of fear, then really you may guarantee that that is what you shall create. We would be delighted if you would all really come to appreciate how powerful you are, each entity.
Thank you for that. How do the ideas of sovereignty and responsibility work in co-creation? For example, if a group of people exercises their sovereignty to create a war in my neighbourhood, how can I exercise my own sovereignty so that I do not have a war in my neighbourhood?
You focus upon peace. And that simplistically is the truth of it. And where there are groups of peoples who come together and focus upon peace and actively promote peace, then indeed that will be the perceived reality.
Recently, Western societies terrified themselves by creating a virus which spread very quickly, and many people have gone home. Did we co-create this situation because so many people really wanted to go home? Can you talk about the gifts that have come from this time of restriction?
Yes, indeed. That have been quite an epic, what is called epic in your world, where, if you may say that the idea of virus is a mental construct, and it have been utilized in the most powerful way to first enable peoples easily to choose to go home, which is a euphemism for death. Also, this time have been an opportunity for reflection, have been an opportunity for, we would say, a bonding of family, allowing peoples to really perceive who and how they are in your society or in any society. So there really have been manifold gifts in this virus. Having experienced it, you need not create it again. That also is your power.
Thank you, that's very interesting. My next question is, what will actually happen when I die? Will I still have my personality, my memories?
Dying is going home, in a way. If you think that all of your lifetimes are occurring simultaneously outside space-time continuum, then you may see that the oversoul, the light beingness of each of you, chooses to come to play in this human realm, not once but multitudinous times, all occurring now. It is a game, and although for most of you, you take your life very seriously, we promise you that in your light beingness, it is quite a wondrous game, this human existence. Also, we wish to say that from your light beingness, you may choose to experience any kind of life form or life experience wherever in the multiverses you choose. So when you look at it from this aspect, you have some idea of the magnitude of who you really are. Quite exciting. And of course, there are ways that you may indeed tap into alternate experiences. And we have given forth meditation over the years to assist you to facilitate these experiences. We urge you to have fun with it all and not to take any of it too seriously. In this way, it is to remind you who you really are. Light beings come forth to play this game. And what a fun game it is.
Yes, very much so. Next question is, the disease of cancer seems to be affecting and killing increasing numbers of people. How do we create cancer in our body?
All right. The first thing to understand is that diseasement comes into the collective consciousness. So you may say that it have a consciousness of its own, really. And where there are emotional issues which have not been addressed, this idea form called cancer exists within the collective consciousness and may be utilized by anyone who taps into that state of being. Disease, as we say so often, is not like catching a stray dog. You create diseasement, which is, as we say, really about emotional issues and beliefs not dealt with. And you tap into this frequency for very many reasons. The secret here is to look at what you believe about the diseasement, where you manifest in the body the diseasement, and look at what this is telling you. Your body is the most extraordinary conglomeration of intelligence. And it will reflect to you that which you will not look at or consciously acknowledge. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you have issues, emotional issues and beliefs about who you are and about reality, negative issues that you do not wish to address. And in this way, the body, in its integrity, will mirror back to you what you will not look at. So it is quite extraordinary, really.
You've often said that we should be our own detective when we have health issues. What do you mean by this?
Exactly so. If you look at your body and what the body actually represents, then you may use that to identify issues. So you may say that left side of body represents feminine energy, and the right side of the body represents masculine energy. Feminine energy is about intuition. It is about nurturing. It is inside stuff. That makes sense? Inside stuff. Masculine energy is that which is external, that which moves. That energy is just what we would call external stuff. And then you look at the parts of the body and what the parts of the body represent to you, or what it is utilized for. And by putting all of this information together, you may say, aha, this would represent this in my psyche. And the powerful mind does everything else for you. It manifests a disease or some kind of issue which will draw your attention to that which you have not observed before.
Okay. Very interesting. Thank you. Further to that, I have another question around that. Can we deliberately change our own molecular structure so that we are no longer diseased?
Yes, of course you can. You, all of you have, we would say, heard of peoples who have healed themselves of what is so-called fatal diseasement. So once the issues are addressed, then the body will heal itself. Of course, there are those who do not wish to heal themselves, and they wish to go home to their light beingness. And that is perfectly valid. There is no judgment about how you live your life. No judgment about those who tire of physicality and wish to go home. Our desire for each of you is that you will find great fulfillment in your physical reality of whichever lifetime you are playing in. And it is playing in. And it would behoove each of you to really come to this understanding that it is a game. And that you come, you play, you have your interaction, experiencing love, experiencing, well, whatever it is that you wish to create, and then you go home. And we know, beloved, that it can be most painful to lose a beloved. However, everything in the ripeness of time, you see. Yeah? And to know that the precious time that you have together as beloveds, when that is sundered, then indeed this is opportunity to have further experience. And that is soul's desire, you see. If it were not, then you would not. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. And it raises another small question I have.
Yes, beloved.
The drive to go home, if people decide to go home,
Yes.
is that driven by their higher self, or is that driven by their physical self? Like, is it the higher self that's driving that?
No. Really, you may say the higher self is in existence for the experience, for the human experience, however that is. And we understand how many of you will look at, for instance, the terrible experiences of children who are abused, etc. And you say, how could this be? And how or why would a child choose this? Well, the child really does not choose it, of course not consciously. But as we say, there is no judgment from the oversoul, the light beingness, who simultaneously desires to have every human experience without judgment.
Okay. That was great, thank you. You have said that we are growing new DNA strands as we expand in consciousness. Can you talk about how this is going?
Slowly.
Okay. And what does this mean for each of us?
It is the DNA is really that which facilitates the storage of information. It does not exist in your body. The DNA exists, but the information does not exist in your head. You do store information within your body, but for instance, you register pain, or you break a limb, or the experiences of childbirth, etc., are all experienced in physicality. The information of DNA is not really stored in the body. The DNA, how can we say, is it exists, can be measured, can be seen. However, it in itself cannot really, it is the receptor for the information. That is the one that makes sense to you. It is the receptor of the information that exists in the non-physical.
Okay. Pardon me. My next question is a totally different subject. Are there still star people among us?
Yes, there have always been.
Okay.
You know, there is much controversy about star peoples and star peoples being amongst you in physicality. And those very brave ones who come to experience the physicality of human, who indeed, in a way, you may say, disguise themselves as human, are really those who are doing great work for their own species, for their own peoples. Likened unto Earth, some of the civilizations beyond this planet do, likened unto Earth, experience various hardship and we would say the thirst for knowledge of other civilizations. So many what is called pioneers come forth to play here. Those who are able to be in this physical environment called Earth. Yeah.
Is there any way we can identify those star people amongst
Not unless they request it, not unless they desire it.
They don't have a different energy we can pick up on or anything like
Oh,
that?
very often you do, and you say, oh, that is a bit strange. Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Is there a lot of star people activity happening on Earth at this time?
Well, yes, but not so much more than in the last 100 of your years.
What kind of activity do they?
Gathering information.
Right. Okay.
Also, gathering physical knowledge of the planet itself. That which grows upon, that which are the creatures of the planet, etc.
My next question is possibly being covered by my earlier question, but it says it's about wondering if it's possible for us as individuals to contact and speak with star people who are here.
If they choose it.
If they choose it.
Yes. Mm.
And moving on from that question, but still in the same area, do ancient belief systems, like the Mayan calendar, for example, contain important information for us today?
Not really. Mm. So much in the last 100 years with the scientific expansion of consciousness in this civilization has in a way superseded or made irrelevant much of the information from ancient teachings, although truth of spiritual nature does not change. So there has been teaching from Maya, from Egypt, from India, from China, from these various civilizations through your history or through the history of humanity. Each civilization puts forth its spiritual truths. And they really do not change, you know. What do you think the greatest spiritual truth is, beloved? One word. One word.
Love.
Exactly so. Yes.
So you're saying that those civilizations have all, in essence, preached love as a...
Indeed, although you may say, looking at some of the rituals and rites of these civilizations, that love did not have much to do with it. Much of it violence, much of it things likened unto human sacrifice, etc. However, all of those, in spite of being misled, came from a thirst for more knowledge about love. And even the scientists of your day, in this now, looking for answers within and beyond the planet. What they are truly searching for is answers all being able to reduce to just that one word, love. And the essence of love in expanded consciousness contains all knowledge. And that knowingness is within each of you, although you may not be consciously aware of it. And you may say that a very high percentage of activity upon your plane of reality is searching for the wholeness of love.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. For sure.
Indeed.
Wondering, in a similar vein, is Jesus going to come again?
Well, certainly not in physicality. However, that which is the essence of a prophet, and let us say that Yeshua ben Joseph was prophet, then indeed that essence of prophet come at a very regular way throughout societies. And again, the essence of that really is about love.
It's all the same message, really, isn't it?
Of course it is, absolutely.
The power of
So there must be some truth in it, eh?
yes. Yes. It's the power force of the universe, love, isn't it?
Indeed, it is.
Do we reincarnate into another life so that we can learn lessons or pay for things we've done in the past?
No. That is the answer, no. You have a reincarnations for simply the joy of playing the human game. Again, we say that all of the incarnations are occurring in the now. Through time, all happening now. It is likened unto, if you would think of perhaps a roll of film in a canister, and you look and you say, there is a roll of film containing many stories, but the only way that you can view the stories is for frame by frame, you get the story. Huh? You view the frames, and when they are running very fast, seem like a continuous action. Huh? But in truth, all of the lifetimes are like the frames of the film. And when you see the roll of film, you say, aha, there are all of my human lifetimes.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yes.
It's a great description. Thank you.
Yes.
You have said that in order to transform fear into love, we need to be in the embracement of it.
Yes.
How do we learn to embrace what we are frightened of? How can we embrace war, for example?
You do not embrace war. You embrace peace. How do you embrace fear? Well, you know, it is just a tiny feeling in the belly. That is all. And it is a tiny feeling in the belly that you have known since you were little baby. And if you can imagine the fear as a little baby or a very small child, then it is very easy to hold that one to the heart. and say, I love you. And it is in that embracement and in that expression of love that the fear which lives in the belly simply moves up into the heart chakra. And you see, with fear, the more that you resist it, the more it is. Eh? So, in a way, it is to acknowledge the fear, just a little feeling, and to embrace. And immediately that embracement transforms the frequency.
Just on that, you mentioned the heart chakra. So the chakras are an important part of the human.
Well, they are just the names. A chakra is simply the name of energy centers throughout the body. And you have many, many. You have your main chakras, of course, but you have energy points throughout the body. And most of you know of a practice called acupuncture. Well, that indeed is to stimulate chakra points. Simple, really.
Okay.
The chakras are your batteries.
Right. Okay. That's a great description. Thank you. How do I learn to love who I am absolutely and unconditionally?
Well, there is a thing, eh? You know, to look at your life and to know that every negative situation that you have created has been created out of the fear of not being enough. The fear of being hurt, the fear of being stupid, the fear of being ostracized, the fear of being abandoned. All of this is just the fear of not being enough. And so the more that you can look at your life, look at negative decisions or situations, and to say, in that moment, I did the only thing that I could do. And it is all right. Because every negative situation you have experienced in your life has brought you to this now. And in this now, everything is always perfect.
Thank you, Vitar. That's a beautiful way to, I guess, finish this session.
Indeed,
Everything is always perfect.
everything is always perfect. And we thank you for beloved for the sharing in this film, this recording. And we thank each of you for allowing this to be, for creating this. And it is our joy to be able to speak in this fashion, not only to you who are here in this now, but that which allows the knowledge to go forth. And we desire each of you to know that truly you are loved. And truly you are each light beings come forth to play this wondrous game called human life. And so, beloved ones, we issue forth to each of you, Namaste.
Namaste.